Hello everyone, welcome to AEzeeZoology. Our today's topic is digestion of proteins. So in this topic we will be seeing that as we take in the food, no digestion of proteins or no action of enzymes takes place on the proteins in the mouth. So where does the digestion of protein starts? The digestion of protein starts in the stomach, and in the stomach the gastric juice has pepsinogen and prorenin. These are the enzymes which are proteolytic enzymes. That is they are the ones which are going to act upon the proteins. They are going to break bigger protein molecules into the smaller ones. But as we had done in the previous videos, the pepsinogen and prorenin, they are present in the form of proenzymes. So they were as inactivated or proenzyme form, and in the presence of HCl, first they are to be activated. So when the chyme is present in the stomach, the food known as chyme, it is present in the stomach. It is pepsinogen and renin. First of all, they get activated by the presence of HCl, and HCl is also producing the acidic conditions in the stomach, plus any kind of harmful bacteria present along in the chyme. It kills everything. Then the action of pepsin takes place. The pepsin is going to break the larger protein molecules into the smaller ones like proteoses, peptones and larger peptides. And renin, it is known as the protein, it is known as the enzyme which is acting upon the milk proteins. So casein, which is a milk protein, so casein, the milk which we intake, it is having the protein which is known as casein. And as you know that the younger kids, the smaller children, they take in a lot of milk, and renin in the presence of calcium, it converts casein, the milk protein, into calcium paracaseinate. So this is known as curdling of milk as well. Okay. So further, once the casein, milk protein, is changed into calcium paracaseinate, you might have seen sometimes the small child, when he takes in the milk, then he has to be, made to sit upright, and the patting has to be done so that the peristaltic movements are not that strong in the small child. He gets a burp and the milk goes down. But sometimes they regurgitate it back, so that thicker liquid like a curd which is coming out, that is this calcium paracaseinate, and that is known as curdling of milk, and it is little acidic to taste and sour to taste. Further, the calcium paracaseinate, that is acted upon by pepsin, and it is further changed into proteoses and peptones and then the large peptides. Then calcium paracaseinate is converted into the smaller parts of the proteins by the action of further by pepsin. Here I want to mention one thing, that renin in case of we human beings is secreted only in the children till the very early ages, maybe till age of 4 to 6 years. After that, renin is, the secretion of renin decreases to a very larger extent. But renin is being secreted in the calf. So here the question arises that still as adults we are taking in milk, then how are we still able to digest the milk which we are taking in, the milk protein? That action would be taken up, which I'll just talk in a few minutes, that action will be taken up by chymotrypsin, which is a part of the pancreatic juice. I will just come to that. So just completing this part. So we have seen that in the stomach, the larger proteins and the milk proteins, they are broken down into smaller components which are like proteoses, peptones. Now as the food, the chyme is moving towards the smaller intestine, the duodenum, where it will be known as chyle, and it will be now facing the alkaline conditions, the action of pancreatic juice and intestinal juice have a significant role in the digestion of proteins. In the pancreatic juice, the composition of pancreatic juice we have already done in the previous videos. For reference, you can even look back into them. So coming back, the pancreatic juice has trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase. As you have seen, I have put them in one category. These are the ones, they are proteolytic enzymes, because here we are talking about the digestion of proteins. So I am just picking up the proteolytic enzyme component part of the pancreatic juice. But composition of pancreatic juice, in the previous videos you have seen, they also have amylolytic, a small amount of lipolytic and nucleolytic enzymes as well. So as we are talking about each component, subsequently we will take them up. So trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase, they are also in a proenzyme or a zymogen or an inactive form of an enzyme. So first they have to get activated. How they will get activated? Enterokinase, a component of the intestinal juice, it is acting as an activator enzyme and it is activating trypsinogen into trypsin. So once the trypsin is activated, then it is further activating like pepsin, which is an autocatalytic process, that first few molecules of pepsin are activated by HCl, then they keep on activating their own further components. Similarly, trypsin is also autocatalytic, that is first enterokinase is required for activating few molecules of trypsin and further then they keep on activating their own molecules, plus they also activate chymotrypsinogen into chymotrypsin and procarboxypeptidase into carboxypeptidase. Once all these proteolytic enzymes are activated, the proteins and the larger proteins left in the stomach and all the other components, they are again changed into larger peptides and proteoses and peptones, some components of the proteins which are left undigested in the stomach by the action of gastric juice. So it is kind of a second, you can say a second check which is taking place, that whatever is left, that would be further broken down into smaller components by trypsin. Now, as I had talked little earlier, the milk protein, that is the casein, that will be changed into calcium paracaseinate by chymotrypsin in the presence of calcium. So the function of renin is taken over by chymotrypsin in the adults, because renin is secreted only till the initial years of your life. After that, the renin production decreases to a significant amount in we people. So that is why now still we are taking milk, and the milk protein casein is being digested by chymotrypsinogen or chymotrypsin into calcium paracaseinate. So renin function is taken over by chymotrypsin. Okay, and then further moving, now the larger peptides, proteoses, peptones, they are another one step further, they are degraded, that is broken down by carboxypeptidases. So carboxypeptidases, that breaks down the larger peptides and proteoses and peptones into dipeptides and amino acids. So now dipeptide means that there are just very few molecules of amino acids left, that is dipeptide means 2 peptide bonds. So there will be 3 amino acids with 2 peptide bonds in between them, and some amino acids, they are broken down, they are now free because of the action of carboxypeptidase. Now here, what is the meaning of carboxypeptidase? As the name suggests, carboxy means peptidase, that is this enzyme, it is acting and it is deleting or breaking down the amino acids from the carboxylic end, and it is acting upon the peptide bond. So amino acids at the carboxylic end, they are being broken. A single amino acid at one time at the carboxylic end is broken down by the action of carboxypeptidases. So they are acting upon the peptide bond at the carboxylic end, and they are separating one amino acid at a time, so that the larger peptides by one amino acid at the carboxylic end, one by one it is getting deleted. So the larger peptides are becoming smaller, and one peptide each from the carboxylic end is getting isolated and separated. Okay, so the larger proteins are now getting digested to form the amino acids. Then further, as the chyle is moving in the further in the duodenum and towards the jejunum region, the intestinal juice is going to act upon it, that is succus intricus, and the larger peptides which might be left by the action of pancreatic juice, they are now acted upon by aminopeptidases, which like carboxypeptidase is also going to break them now into dipeptides and amino acids. Now what is the difference? Because the result is the same. So aminopeptidases, as the name suggests, it is isolating or breaking the bonds, peptide bonds at the amino end of the amino acids. So as you know that the amino acids, the basic structure of amino acids, it is having a carboxylic end and an amino end. Carboxypeptidases are breaking the peptide bonds at the carboxylic end. Aminopeptidases are breaking the bond at the amino end. So this is why the names are suggesting. And ultimately the dipeptides, they will be acted upon by dipeptidases, a component of the intestinal juice, and ultimately the amino acids will be formed. And this is the simplest form of amino acids of the proteins, which will be now absorbed into the intestinal epithelium, and further assimilation will take place. So one few things I want to pinpoint here, that is in predatory animals, the trypsin has the ability of converting fibrinogen into fibrin. So blood coagulation takes place. So which enzyme is helping in the blood coagulation in the predatory animals? Trypsin. So from your competition point of view, these are smaller things which might be asked. Then most of the vertebrates don't have proteoses to digest the fibrous proteins like keratin, hair, silk fibrin, woolen fibers, but we have seen that there are certain insects which have the ability. So some invertebrates like insects secrete enzymes which are digesting fibrous proteins, and they destroy the silk and the woolen garments. So sometimes we have seen that our silk and the woolen garments, they are destroyed, there are small holes in them. So we put naphthalene balls to keep the insects away, because they are the ones which are producing the enzymes to digest the silk and the woolen components of that garment. So which the higher vertebrates do not have. So this was the summary of the digestion of the proteins. If you want, you can also take the screenshot of the board, and there are many important things which might be asked in your various competition exams, be it your NEET exam, be it your M.Sc entrance, B.Sc nursing, for pharmacy, for your NET exam as well, and various other competitive exams. So I hope you have found this video useful, and keep watching the upcoming videos. Thank you.